Welcome to the commentary booth where we watch and you guessed it, commentate on the week that was in movies and TV. I'm your host and play-by-play commentator Jamie Apps, and each week I'm joined by a rotating cast of colour commentators to help you find your next viewing treat. This week I'm joined by a special guest, Pario Magazine's Victorian correspondent. Welcome to the show, the engaged one, Jason Hauth.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, so somebody decided to marry that.
Yeah, I genuinely do not know how that happened. Miracles can happen, all right?
It's like wrestling. Anything can
Literally,
happen.
the boyhood dream has come true, and that's all I could think of when you said that. I'm like, yeah, some idiot has agreed to marry this dickhead. So, yeah.
Yep.
Weird things can happen.
Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to check out ROH Supercard 2020, Supercard of Honor 2023, the first pay-per-view that's like 100%. No, because he did the last three, didn't he?
He did.
It's the first pay-per-view of this new era of Ring of Honor where they've actually got TV to build up these storylines and things.
I would say this is the proper first kickoff of Ring of Honor as its own thing, not just AEW's little side project. So, yeah, start of a new era.
Yeah, it's the first pay-per-view that they're not just like keeping this company alive and in the minds. This is like, no, we've relaunched and we're back 100% after doing four episodes worth of tapings in 2 days at Universal.
Oh, was someone there for those?
And then an episode. I was there for.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I didn't get messages at 4 a.m. in the morning going, look what I'm saying, and you're not.
Yep. They were very awesome days, apart from it being freezing cold in the Universal.
Oh, we got to talk about cold. Really? You want to talk about cold to someone that just spent 3 weeks in the UK? I seen snow. Okay, it snowed. Yeah. I win.
I know. I felt like it could have snowed in that studio.
All right, I win.
Freeze.
Trust me.
It was freezing and it ran way long. We were supposed to be out of there by 10 o'clock. We didn't leave there until 11
p.m.
Yeah.
Did you at least go on the Rip Rocket ride afterwards? Why not?
No. Gross.
What is wrong with you?
No, I don't like that. No, that shit's mental.
That is a great ride. Listen to Limp Bizkit rolling while you're going up like this degree hill. What? I kind of wish I could fly to Sydney and just slap you for that. That is I'm upset. But if you want to talk about cold, yeah, I dealt with cold weather, okay? Seriously. Like, when I seen the weather app say at 3 a.m. in the morning, it's freezing and it's snowing, I'm like, what does this mean? It was it was a weird...
Walk outside and you're like, oh, that's what this means.
Yeah, I walk outside and I'm like, what the fuck is it? What is this white thing coming from the sky? It has been a fun 3 weeks. I'm still recovering.
And then came back to Australia and 30 degrees and hot.
Oh, coming back at like 11:30 at night. So I think I got back to my car at 2:30 in the morning. Me and my fiance now, not my partner, not my girlfriend, fiance. It's a very weird term of concept. Getting in the car and be like, this is hot, stripping off like 5 layers of clothes, being like, this is what we missed for 3 weeks.
At 2 in the morning. And then you're like, uh-oh, it's going to get real hot.
At 2 a.m. in the morning, we're like, shorts and a t-shirt. This is perfect. We're happy. That was a very fun sort of thing of, oh yeah, it's hot. It was fun. Tyler was, my brother was teasing me the whole time, going like, it's 30 degrees here, I'm cooking a barbecue, and I'm like, it's snowing here. Don't talk to me. Go away.
Yeah.
Mr. Orlando weather.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, we're talking about the new era of Ring of Honor. Have you had a chance to check out any of the taped episodes? Or was this like your first?
This was my first. As I've been away for 3 weeks, I hadn't had a chance to watch them. And with work and such, I kind of forgot that their shows were back on and the Honor Club thing. But I had been, you keep tabs on things on Twitter. You keep tabs on things on social media, Reddit. They tell you what you need to know. I seen that our Aussie Princess Shazza made her debut. And
She
Aussie
did.
Open have absolutely been killing it, thanks to a certain Mr. Jamie Apps sending me messages going, Aussie Open here, are you jealous? And I'm like,
Aussie Open here, and they're just constantly winning everything except for on this.
and I'm like,
pay-per-view.
I'm at work. Thanks for reminding me. So I've had a very good touch on what's been going on, thanks to Mr. Jamie Apps reminding me of things while he was at the tapings and saying that Shaz has showed up at the recent tapings pre-Dynamite.
Mm-hmm. So with this sort of refresh, we've seen sort of new belts introduced. What did you think of the new belt designs of the world title, tag
Do you want me to rehash?
women's?
Do you want to
pure
rehash the conversation we had about the Pure Belt? How I freaking love it so much. It's a WCW Cruiserweight belt, which I've always wanted for my collection. It is that in silver with the circle side plates. Absolutely love it. The men's one looks good. The women's one actually looks really good as well.
Yeah, well, I liked the women's one. Like it's just the belt that they had
Yeah.
before, but silver, and like it just pops so much more in that silver
Yeah,
and black.
definitely. Like the silver, I absolutely love for the Ring of Honor belts. I literally have. It's just weird when you see the TNT title is still in gold. It's like okay, this doesn't match.
Oh, the TV
I
title.
can't remember what the 6-man belt looks like, so I can't.
They're silver and ugly.
They're those.
Yeah, the TV title that Joe has is literally the only belt they have now that's gold. All the others are silver. So I was like, that's all weird. My assumption is they did that to differentiate it from the other two singles titles.
Definitely. Like the original Ring of Honor belt has always been silver, so it's good that they've kept in that style. Always kept to a different style and kept the same sort of look. Glad the women's belt looks exactly like the men's, which is how it should be.
Mm-hmm.
I just love the fact that the Pure belt looks like the Cruiserweight title. That's just, I absolutely love that.
Yeah, I love how they're like retro feeling, but they're also modern and updated.
Yeah, exactly. Like the side plates are circular and round, which is very WWE-esque, very modern take. But the main plate is classic J-Mar styled belt. So I absolutely love the way they're going with their belts.
Did you notice the little tribute detail on the world title side plate?
No, I did not know.
So you know how on the ROH side plates they have like silhouettes of like classic moves and moments from Ring of Honor history? One of the side plates now is Jay Briscoe hitting the J drum.
That is when you said, "Did you catch the tribute?" I'm like, it's going to be a Jay Briscoe tribute, and that is absolutely incredible. There's a lot of tributes throughout that show, which, as we go on with things, I'll be like, "Oh boy, I'm not ready for this." But yeah, they have handled that extremely well. Yeah, I'm glad that they are paying tribute to him in the utmost respect.
Yep. And then some of the other production elements for this show. What did you think of the sort of unique stage
Loved
setup?
Loved it.
The stage kind of angled in a little bit, but then you had the diamond shaped actual stage with the old school stairs, not a ramp.
It was very much a pre-COVID Ring of Honor show. Just with a lot more fans and a lot more talent on the show sort of things there. So absolutely love the stage. It was instantly, when you sent me a photo of it, even though I told you, do not send me spoilers, please. You sent me the photo of it, I'm like, this is incredible. I had to explain to my fiance why I was losing my shit over a photo of a stage.
Over a stage.
That was a good sort of like, so how long have we got here? 30 minutes, 3 hours? I could go for hours about this concept. So, no, I absolutely love their stage.
And I liked that they didn't incorporate those new barricades that they've been using for AEW as well. They went just with the old school steel barricades with the cloth covers.
Yeah, exactly. They kept it like legit. You could have shown me this show and said this was a pre-COVID show. I would have believed you 100%. It felt like where Ring of Honor was on the up, pre everything.
Yep.
It felt exactly like that, and that was good to see. It just, you know what I mean? You weren't reminded every 30 seconds that,
this is just
yeah,
AEW.
it was nice. Like, I understand the jokes where people go, you've got Ring of Honor Tony Khan and AEW Tony Khan. Multi-personalities trying to clash with each other.
Old mate is fighting himself for Booker of the Year at the moment.
That's literally where I was going. It's going to be Booker of the Year. It's going to be AEW Tony Khan or Ring of Honor Tony Khan. It's going to be the winner of this year's...
I hope they list him as two separate versions on
I hope so.
The Observer list or the Fightful list.
That is what I'm hoping for. Because
top two places, Tony Khan, AEW, Tony Khan, ROH.
It's...
Big gap, everyone else.
Legitimate. It's like I have to create competition within myself. I really hope that's how it ends at the end of the year. I'm looking forward to the end of the year results.
And then we also had the announce desk, like down by ringside, which was classic ROH as well. And I love the graphics package they've come up with for the nameplates and everything for ROH as well. They're clean, but like they're not basic because they've got like that moving black background behind the text and stuff. It's like really cool.
I definitely, like I said, everything felt like a more modern Ring of Honor sort of thing there. At least it wasn't a Cinema Crunch Presents match with those graphics that we seen earlier in the day. It was very... Oh, God. So much I'm just saying, when are we cutting to break to talk about Cinnamon Crunch? Because I can go to the kitchen and get some if you want.
Myob tax?
The Turbo Tax. Yeah, screw seeing someone dodgy, just go to Turbo Tax.
Just quietly, if someone wants to pay me $22 million to advertise a tax program, I will do it.
I don't think the guy that I see that's very questionable in what he gets away with has $22 million to pay for a sponsorship.
It's a tax write-off. He'll work it out.
The things he's gotten me away with, yes. I better shut up.
So then the other big talking point coming out of this pay-per-view is kind of a very sad moment. The injury to Dante Martin. So we're going to shout out to him and wish him a speedy and easy recovery, which I am very not optimistic about. I think he could be out for quite some time because that injury was... Oh, that was graphic.
It was one of the very few things I was looking for because I only seen the show, like I just watched it 3 hours ago. And I've been off social media for the last 24 hours to avoid things, and I only caught the fact of Dante Martin, Sid Vicious, and I'm like, oh, where's this going with this? And I seen that, I'm like, I did not know the ankle could do a 360, and I sent that to my fiance, and she's like, what is this? Yeah, the whole match, I'm sitting there watching it, waiting for it, and then it was just in the most... Yeah.
Like, it was a big spot,
but I did not expect for your ankle to snap in that spot versus everything else that could have gone wrong in that match. I want to know who did they piss off in another life to be cursed?
Oh, they are.
Like...
Top Flight are so cursed.
I'm curious, who did they piss off? Because I want to know who to not piss off to be cursed that bad.
The only benefit I can see coming out of this is they might get sort of almost like the Acclaimed pop when they come back and then like get pushed to the absolute moon.
I could see that, but this is like the, fourth time it's happened for them? Like, it's always been like, it's like a tag team match where they tag in of injuries. It's just
always been the other way. It's like Darius blew out his knee, was about to come back, had a car accident, came back, and now Dante
decides, hey, let's do a 360 on our foot, meat spin style.
But yeah, that was like a spot that I instantly noticed too, because like when he went through those tables, he instantly like sat up and tried to walk away from it and like grabbed at his leg, and I was just like, oh no. I saw it straight away. I was like, he didn't sell at all. He just instantly popped up like, oh shit, I got really
Yeah,
good.
let's see if I can walk on this thing. I seen the alternative, like the side views from like Twitter footage.
Front someone from
Yeah,
the
and
crowd
I'm like,
and slow
yeah,
mo.
I'm
Nice.
like, cool. I didn't know your ankle could do that special feature. Yeah,
Yeah, well, it can't unless you snap it off.
yeah. I'm just sitting there going, shit. Did he just literally see Sid Vicious's injury and go like, I will top that? I
I can
seen him
do
at
that.
WrestleCon and I'm like, I'm gonna top that. Uh,
At least he did it from like a crazy spot. Sid just kind of did it jumping off a top
the
rope.
middle rope big boot and just decided to, yeah,
Just like basic move. At least Dante's looked
yeah,
spectacular.
because it's even funnier because again, I seen on Twitter like I ran because like you were sending me things on Twitter and I'd accidentally hit the refresh button and I'd said the Canadian Destroyer spot. I turned it off straight away. I'm like, okay, cool, there's Canadian Destroyer through the tables.
Through
I didn't
tables.
know that
Yep.
connected straight into the other spot that happened during the match, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I hope.
the disappointing thing too is that has like overshadowed that entire match pretty
Yeah.
much as well, which sucks for everyone involved in it because it was an epic match up
Oh
until
yeah,
that point.
Aussie Open looks so fucking good in that match.
Yeah. And then the other couple of big talking points coming out of that were Tony Khan's booking decisions in this. Like they were very, very bold choices compared to what he typically does. Like typically he's pretty
Mm.
predictable, and there were two or three major shocks on this show that I did not see coming at
Yeah,
all.
like pretty much the whole show, but for Kabashi, I did not see coming. Like I thought it was going to be again another clean new champions all around. I thought Aussie Open would win because they are just everywhere this weekend. Aussie,
And they've been like in those tapings in the lead up,
yeah,
they won all of their matches.
it,
Like
it,
it's like, oh, they got all the momentum. They have that New Japan partnership, so it makes sense. Like have those belts floating between the two companies. But
yeah,
yeah,
I was very shocked by that. Which again is good that he does not just make things predictable as AEW Tony Khan. Ring of Honor Tony Khan
mm-hmm.
is a whole different DLC character you have to download in My Career. He doesn't play by the same rules, which again is good. I was for sure thinking Eddie Kingston would get the win, but yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
was, oh, okay, we aren't playing by the same rule book here.
Yep, yeah. There's some craziness, and I think he said in like the post match, like the post show press conference, like, because he doesn't have like the hard and fast. You need to produce exactly 2 hours of TV each week, like it's on Honor Club. There's really no advertising commitments. There's no hard set time limits. He can be a little bit more loose and flexible with the stories and the booking that he goes with, which
Mm.
is exciting.
Exactly, which is good that again he is making things different than just Tony Khan face wins, feuds over sort of thing. Um,
Yep.
but yeah, I'm honestly excited to see where things go next with things, and yeah, Ring of Honor Tony Khan might actually give AEW Tony Khan a run for the money for Booker of the Year.
Mm-hmm. And so, like you said, you only just watched it. I imagine you haven't watched the pre-show, and you didn't get to see
I didn't get
big
a
pop
chance to
moment.
watch the pre-show. No, what? Oh, with Nigel McGuinness coming out as a surprise, I guess.
Nigel's return, I flipped out, and Karina was just like, "Who is this guy?" I was like, "He's
Uh,
awesome."
all I said was, "Oh fuck me! I just listened to British accent for three weeks. I don't need to hear it again." That was my only reaction. Was, "Oh man, again more British accents. Can I please be left alone?" Um, but
I
he
love
added
Nigel, so
so
I was
much.
stoked to see him come back.
I was genuinely
He's like
excited.
such a great addition to that team.
Oh, he gives it a proper. You feel like this is a legitimate sport, legitimate event feel with him there. And it's funny because it plays into the fact of, like, I messaged you. I'm like, how crazy is it that Ring of Honor is the must-see show this Mania weekend and not
Mm-hmm.
NXT? Like, NXT
Yeah,
was always, like, when I went, like, 5 years in a row, NXT was always the must-buy ticket, must-see show. This defines Mania weekend, and Ring of Honor was always the red-haired stepchild of, like,
Yeah,
oh,
it was always
cool.
the if it's on at a good time.
Yeah, or, like I said, like, Ring of Honor was always, like, an hour's drive out of the city, and if you don't have a car, bad luck. So you'd go to NXT instead. When Ring of Honor and NXT would always be on at the same time, and, like, NXT's on its own time. It's in the city, and it blew. Ring of Honor was in the Ring of Honor was in the city, and it's on its own different time, and it blew everything away. The NXT was a oh yeah, that was on early this morning. What happened? And I just scrolled up through the messages that you sent me, going, okay, cool, sweet, whatever. I'm gonna make myself a cup of coffee. Like, complete afterthought of it.
I only watched 2 matches on that pay-per-view.
I didn't. You told me everything I needed to see.
I
That was
watched the
it.
women's ladder match and Grayson, and then I was done.
Why did you see the Grayson match for? What was that?
This is my boy. You gotta watch Grayson.
Oh, he's your little best friend, best mate.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta watch him. So yeah, and I think adding Nigel to that commentary team, it also gives it the legitimacy and, like, legacy status as well. Like he has history from basically day one of ROH, so good to have him there.
Exactly. Like, it was a major push.
Some of his comments popped me as well. Like when he called Caprice a James Hunt, I was like, Caprice does not understand what he just got called.
I instantly recognized, like, I didn't think I was allowed to say the C word on this, but yes.
Called him a James Hunt. And then he was taking a lot of shots at Bryan Danielson as well. Like, throughout the entire event, he just kept saying Bryan Danielson, that clam digger. And I'm like, are they slowly planting the seeds for Nigel to come back and have one last match? Because if they're doing that, Bryan has to be the guy.
That is, if Bryan was to come back for one Ring of Honor match, like, he was like, hey, look, please, pretty please, one match, that's all we asked for.
I think we're getting Bryan in a few more than one match in Ring of Honor.
You know what I mean? Like,
Bryan and Shibata. But I think if Nigel comes back for, like, here's my one last, I'm done after this match, retirement match in Ring of Honor, it has to be Bryan, like, with their history.
Exactly that. That's why I was like, surely you're not going that way, but also at the same time, holy shit, they are going that way.
Like, if he'd only said it once, I'd have been like, oh, that's fair. That's just him drawing on that rivalry they had. But it was probably, 4 or 5 times throughout the entire show.
Yeah, there was enough subtleness, which again is Tony Khan's idea of, like, you make it subtle that the hardcores pick on her, and they will let everybody know that, this thing is happening. And yeah, I'm very excited to see where things go, because they didn't announce the next Ring of Honor pay-per-view at the end of the show, so it'll be interesting to see when the next show is.
I guess now that they have weekly TV, they don't need to do, like, oh, we're coming back in July or June. Like, they can build to that.
Exactly. It's like, okay, very fluid. Okay, well, we've written 4 weeks of TV. It adds up to this date. Okay, we'll do it then. Versus, no, we booked this 6 months ago to be this date. So, but yeah, Nigel versus Bryan, definitely excited to see where that goes to. Kobashi is pure heavyweight champion. He hasn't had a match.
Yeah.
He's had more matches in in AEW than he has in New Japan. So,
well, Shibata pretty much called out Bryan too.
Oh shit! Post-match. Oh really?
Like, he basically said, "I'm winning this title now gets me one step closer to going against Bryan Danielson." So,
wow. Okay.
My thinking is, Death Before Dishonor ends up being Claudio and Yuta versus Shibata and Eddie.
Yep.
In, like, a tag match.
Yep.
And then final battle, Hammerstein Ballroom, Eddie versus Claudio rematch, Bryan versus Shibata.
Definitely.
That's all you need.
Yeah,
you put those 2 matches on a card and you're selling out that venue, and then have Eddie win the title in New York. Like,
perfect.
Insanity.
Perfect. Like, yeah, perfect end of end of the show there. So that's definitely where I've seen things. Like I definitely see that tag match coming up as a big, big match in the future,
Yep.
and I guess we'll find out in the coming weeks where things are in fact going with them.
And especially because like they're taping ROH alongside AEW this week in New
Oh,
York City,
really?
and Shibata, it's already confirmed, is going to be on those tapings, as
Oh,
well as Vikingo as well, I believe.
oh, okay, cool. So Vikingo's on
So
those, then comes down to
yeah,
Australia to versus Moretti, and then it's probably back
yep,
to the US to go. Yeah, wow.
yeah, huge for Moretti.
Yeah, yeah. I'm curious to see how old mate feels about the pressure of this match now with
uh,
everything going on.
yeah, and then also on the pre-show we had a second return. The Righteous came back, Vincent and Dutch,
Yep.
and they have since called out the Dark Order for a match at an upcoming episode. And Takeshita and Willow also they both had two really fun matches on the pre-show that were just
Mm.
crazy enjoyable. Like, did you see the news of the match that Takeshita was supposed to have on this pay-per-view though?
I did see the news about him versus Osprey, and wow, what an epic classic that would have
What a
been.
missed match. What a missed match.
The thing that gives me hope is that it will happen down the line. It's not like it's it was supposed to happen and then just never happens. Again,
Yeah.
this final battle at the Hammerstein Ballroom, which I would not be shocked if it, now that you said it, does get announced at this pay-per-view, like the tapings.
Mm.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
would be, yeah, Osprey's ready to go then.
if they run Final Battle at Hammerstein, like that thing's gonna sell out so fast.
Yeah, no, they're definitely, seeing as that was their trademark home for God knows how long. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, that will be very interesting. Or the Melrose Ballroom, I think they used to run as well. Um, our little mate Lesh
Yeah.
would always talk about that venue and running and shooting in that venue and that. And I'm like, yep, cool. So there's two venues I know in New York, and that's two of them when it comes to
Yeah.
indie wrestling.
I just know
But
the
yeah,
Hammerstein is just like so iconic of a name
oh,
with in
definitely
conjunction
icon.
with ROH, so that'd be huge.
Yeah, every major moment has come from that venue. So definitely Tony Khan can afford to, go screw it. Let's run it for a big show.
And that'd be a place where too, if Brian was on that match on that card,
Yeah,
that would be one where I'd be like, fork out the money for Final Countdown,
yeah,
just
yeah,
one time.
yeah. One time only. Just do it like that.
Yeah, if
That
it costs us $100,000, it costs us $100,000.
that would be one that would be like, what are flights to New York City and how much?
Mm-hmm.
That would be one that would be like, can I swing it? Can I convince my partner that this is a good idea?
Yeah,
To run
100%.
to go there for that. So, but yeah, no, it definitely be interesting to see where they go from here.
Yeah, it's got me super psyched for the future of Ring of Honor, and so much that I'm like, do I want to subscribe to Honor Club now and check out their shows every week?
Yeah, no, it definitely has got me thinking. Especially considering
Make
the
them like
backlog.
make them my Friday night watch.
Oh yeah, it's Friday for us. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's never really anything to watch on Friday, so yeah, no, it
No.
definitely would be worth the watch.
Yep.
Considering, yeah, I'm trying to find. I got to find out whether Honor Club's blocked at work or not, because their content filtering is all over the place. So I'll see whether one's blocked or not, and I'll probably subscribe. And like, screw it, I've got nothing else to watch at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yep. So then on to the main card, kicking off with Vikingo versus Commander for the AAA Mega Championship. What a ridiculous, high-flying, the amount of balance and agility from both of these men, they are freaks.
I cannot believe that. Like, I actually watched that live, because Tyler was like, "Hey, heads up, the match is happening now," and I'm like, I'll check it on." My partner's doing her makeup, and every 10 seconds, I'm like slapping her in the chest. I'm like, "Watch this, watch this, watch this! Look, he's
Watch this replay, watch this replay.
It's just like, trying to put my makeup on. Please stop slapping. Please stop slapping me in the chest to watch this thing. And like, what the? Just yeah, I don't know how to explain everything I've seen in that, other than I am the table. Just what the frick did I witness?
Yeah, that table did not want to break
Yeah,
at all. So like, I wrote down like a few of the spots that I was just like blew my mind. First up was Vikingo going from the post to the second rope, doing a springboard implosion 450 to the floor.
yeah.
I was just like, I don't know how you did that and didn't kill yourself. Like that was insane.
Yep.
And then Commander doing the rope walk corkscrew moonsault to the floor and got like so high off the springboard.
That was insanely height.
And then them doing the rope walk Canadian destroyer.
That was I nearly broke my chair,
scary.
just bouncing up and down, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And again, my partner's looking at me going, why are you just like losing every body function on yourself? I'm like, watch. They do flips.
They do lots of flips.
That was just mental.
Vikingo hit his trademark springboard 630 from the inside of the ring over the top rope to the floor, with Commander on a table, and then the table just was like, nope, breaking.
Nope.
Probably made that way worse.
Yeah, that bounce off it. I look forward to see what Matthew does on Botchamania to meet the living crap out of that. But just what an incredible match to start that show.
Oh, so good. And then the last spot too was Commander's hidden ace, which is like that corkscrew moonsault from the corner, which was again like I was like, how do you hit that and like hit it accurately and not like kill your opponent?
Yeah, I was like, his head's right there. Your knees are within centimeters of his skull. How do you pull this off?
Like I've seen guys try to hit just straight up shooting stars or moonsaults and miss and hurt their opponent. Like he did crazy jumping high and corkscrew, ended up facing the other direction and landed it perfectly. I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah. That whole thing was just absolutely mental car crash of a match, and I'm just like, I'm going to see him soon down in the Burwood Club. Wow, just incredible just incredible talent he is, and like this was his fourth match on Mania weekend already.
So he was on the Memorial show,
the
Super show. And then he went straight across to Ring of Honor, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought he'd done GCW stuff earlier in the day.
Possibly. I can't remember.
There's so much. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it wasn't his first match and only match all weekend, and he went out there for 20 minutes and just went balls to the wall and showing this is what I can do.
And he had a match on the taped Ring of Honor on Wednesday as well.
Yeah.
It was all over the place. So perfect pay-per-view opener, like instantly got the crowd all hyped up, and then we went into the 6-man tag team championships, the Embassy versus AR Fox, Blake Christian, and Metalik.
Yep.
The belts remained unchanged, which was kind of surprising considering they'd been changing all the others. So I was like, okay, can we get rid of the ugliest belts in the company? But nope, they've kept them, and I guess because they're silver, they just kept them on there, so that's fine. I was kind of surprised by the ending of this, given the contract status of Brian Cage. So I imagine he has potentially re-signed, or they're in the middle of some form of negotiation that's leaning towards him re-signing.
Same, but also I wouldn't be shocked if he just drops the belts on a random television tapings as well. It's especially considering it was a mismatched tag team, not a proper trios of sorts. But
Embassy's kind of just weird.
Yeah,
He doesn't fit in that group.
Yeah, he's a mismatch guy in versus like AR Fox, Blake Christensen, and someone else in that match.
Metalik.
Metalik.
That's also like a total mishmatch group. Like,
Yeah, it's high flyers and all that stuff. So yeah, again, that was a mismatch tag team. So I was like, I wasn't too shocked, but also considering all the contract talks, I was like, is he really going to walk out of here with the tag titles?
yeah, I
And
assumed just because of that they were going to put him on the other guys that they had signed
yeah,
long term. But
just
yeah,
to
we'll see.
protect themselves. But yeah, no, look, it was a solid trios match. Like it was good,
Yeah, there
good
was a couple of
cool
cool
down.
spots from like Fox and Christian, but nothing overly spectacular. I
Yeah.
think AR Fox has proven to be an incredible addition to the AEW slash ROH roster, though.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
he's so good.
he's definitely earned his spot on the card as that guy that you can count on just to do flippy stuff.
Yeah,
Which
and
is great that
when
he's
he
finally
teams
getting
with Top
recognition.
Flight, that's something special. That's such a cool like trios team.
Oh yeah, definitely. Which yeah, it's sad that yeah, one of those guys is out for what could be several months.
Hmm.
Because yeah, again, I wasn't shocked if AR Fox had Top Flight come in and beat the Embassy and they held the
Yeah,
trios belts for a while if they weren't winning the tag belts. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked now that their plans have changed.
yeah, definitely, definitely gonna have to work something out there. But yeah, it was a solid match. It didn't really like blow my socks off after, especially following the
Yeah,
open.
you really, yeah, you just following that match, there was not much you could do to follow it.
Yeah, they're in a terrible spot. Uh, so then from there we rolled on to the women's championship match: Athena versus Yuka Sakazaki.
Love you, Yuka
Again,
Sakazaki. Love
a
her so much.
like we said, a slightly redesigned belt, basically just the same belt but silver, which made it pop. I also liked the pre-video where Athena was calling all of her challengers porcelain hussies, and then on her entrance, she's like destroying a porcelain doll. I was like, that's a cool little touch.
That was nice that they did like again. They didn't do a huge special entrance. It was like a no. We're Ring of Honor. We don't have the pyro and the option to have 20 people dressed up in porcelain dolls. He's just a single porcelain doll for you to punt kick the shit out of.
Yeah, stomp on this, shatter it. Cool.
Yeah,
Gets the
exactly.
point across.
Yeah,
Uh,
so solid match.
yeah, her glitter body paint stuff was a bit weird. I didn't really.
Yeah,
It, it just was kind of there. It didn't like feel like it fit with her current character or her gear. It was just like, okay,
yeah. I'm here to beat the shit out of you, but here's some glitter to make myself look. Yeah, it was like a yeah.
yeah,
Um,
it was a
like I
weird
said,
choice, but you
I was just happy Yuka Sakazaki was there. Massive simp, massive
know.
fan of hers. As you know, every time she's on screen, I was bombard you with messages in a row going like, "I'm so happy right now." But yeah, that was solid match. Like they delivered so well in what they needed to
Yeah, I
there.
loved
So
that it was. I love it was like the battle of power versus speed, and Athena was basically just
yeah,
trying to brutalize her, but Yuka was just using her speed and flying around the ring. And um, ever since they sort of turned Athena into this evil heel character, she's been so much better.
oh definitely. Like I said, just her doing the whole "I'm here to beat the living shit out of people" character, it works so well for her because you believe it when she shows up to beat the shit out of someone. She's gonna do it.
Mhm.
And yeah, Yuka Sakazaki, she played the role perfectly in doing the whole speed versus strength. Um, and yeah, everything played perfectly in that match to set up Athena as this beast in the tag division.
And I love that that whole like character switch for her pretty much came from her having a dark match against some rookie, and people thought that she was hitting it too hard.
Yeah, yeah, no, that was
So
weird. Like
instead of
how
like
everyone
they just doubled down on it and were like, okay, yeah, we're just going to absolutely have you just destroy people now.
Yeah, everyone got like so outraged by it, but it's like, she's just doing her new character here. What are you getting so upset about? So yeah, I love the direction they're taking her. I love that match. It was a solid match. Again, it just delivers on the Ring of Honor of philosophy of just bangers the whole way through.
Yeah, I thought they were losing the crowd a little bit in the early stages of that match. I
Mm,
think like starting so high, the crowd was like they kind of burned themselves out a little bit quickly,
mm,
so they were coming down. But then there was a moment where Yuka started hitting some like stiff looking forearms, and the crowd came right back into it at that moment. And then
yeah,
Athena hit the O face while Yuka was on the top rope, and that ended the match. That was a cool finish.
that was actually yeah, just out of nowhere, bang. I'm like, wait, what? The match is over?
Hmm.
But yeah, perfect ending for that.
And have you seen the little breaking story that's come out in the day after the pay per view of who was sitting
I
front row on the opposite side of
I
or
did
on
see
the hard
I
cam
did
side?
I did see Trinity was sitting there watching the whole match and that, which was very interesting.
Especially the
To
way she was
see if she,
acting. That was not a friend supporting a friend type look on her face.
yeah,
That was a we're setting up something here.
but they didn't film it to be like every 30 seconds of like,
Yeah,
look, 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 look.
they didn't do the NXT here's a free agent in the crowd moment.
Yeah, which is so wild that yeah, the difference between the two of Mania weekend, it was always look who we have here, and like Ring of Honor's like, we're just gonna let our fans do the free publicity for us. We're not even gonna bother publicizing this. Yeah,
Yeah, I
that will
I
be very
assume
interesting.
I assume during the upcoming set of tapings we might get like a or look who was in the crowd like clip type thing or a
Yeah,
backstage segment. But yeah, I can see that. I imagine
yeah,
that's the direction they're heading in that because yeah, she was booing the crap out of Athena during that match, which isn't really what you would expect someone to do if they were there just supporting their friend.
exactly that. Like I don't know if it's public knowledge about those two being friends. Like, yeah, every wrestling friendship is like very common knowledge of like such and such
Hmm.
is friends with such and such and all this stuff. There, like I've never seen anyone remind me every 30 seconds of those two being friends. So yeah,
Yeah,
it will be interesting to see where this plays out.
yeah. I just saw the news reports being like, oh, Trinity was backstage at Ring of Honor, and then yeah, today someone posted a video like she wasn't backstage, she was front and
Right
center
there.
booing the crap out of her. So
Yeah.
that'd be a cool match
So
if that's the direction they're going for the next pay per
oh
view or next
definitely.
title defense.
Definitely considering she hasn't done any matches anywhere else.
Hmm.
So it'd be interesting to see her first ever match back is for the Ring of Honor like women's title.
And
Not a bad comeback.
Not Trinity, Athena's defending the title at the upcoming taping as well against Mayu Yamashita and against
Oh yeah,
Shazza.
yeah.
So
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, so that's who
maybe
Shazza faced.
maybe something happening after that match.
Yeah, no. Well, considering it's in New York, like that New York show is going to be like off the rails. Like I am very sure me and you are going to be messaging a lot throughout that whole show of the most minutest details of like, did you see this?
Hmm.
Yeah, that is going to be very interesting to see how that, especially doing Ring of Honor taping beforehand. Very interested to see where things go from there.
I'll be interested to see how often they do that. Like tape instead of taping Dark or Rampage or something, they're going to do ROH tapings.
I believe it should be before the show. Like you can't do a block taping and then expect fans to give a shit, for the show. At least
Yeah,
doing a block taping, it's kind of like Rampage, where it's just like you watch it, sort of thing. There,
I
it'd
suspect
be
it'll depend on how many live Rampages they are. Because if Rampage isn't live, they're going to
mm,
have to tape that Wednesdays. But like
true, true.
this week coming, Rampage is live because Battle of the Belts is on as well. So they have
Yeah.
that pre-show and post-show Dynamite to fill. So they'll do
Film,
ROH
yeah,
there
yeah,
instead.
yeah,
And then in between
yeah. Look,
when they don't have that opening, then they'll do like a we'll tape 2 episodes at Universal or something.
Yeah, because it gives a very different look to having like 15 to 20,000, or 10 to 15,000 fans in the crowd versus Universal Studios, which is, it's cool and all, but it doesn't look as good as, 10 to 15,000 fans in the crowd for a taping.
Yeah, the way they set up
event.
the way they set up Universal for ROH was really cool though. They had like gigantic LED screens. They had a big LED screen up above the audience and everything
Oh,
as
really?
well. Like it looked legitimate, like basically a shrunk down arena rather than we're in a studio
Okay.
taping.
Okay, yeah, because all I can remember is just going to that one Impact taping,
Oh,
10 years
it
ago?
looked 1,000 times
You
better
know?
than that. Trust me.
Yeah, that's all I'm thinking of is like that one Impact taping we went to like 10 years ago, and it's like, oh yeah, cool. This feels so povo,
Yep.
fun. I'm gonna go ride Rip Rock and Roller Coaster instead. Bye. Or the Mummy Ride, which is just absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
So
All right. So
yeah,
then we rolled into the most emotional match of the pay-per-view. TV Championship, Samoa Joe versus Mark Briscoe. Again,
yeah.
title belt unchanged, but like I said, perhaps to differentiate it. What did you think of this match and Mark being this just being a
Yeah,
crazy emotional match?
that um yeah, as much as I'd love to bullshit through it, I was like, shit, this is heavy. This is, not what I expect when I'm watching grown men and women play fighting in their underwear. This is like, shit. I should save every day of my life that I have. Which again is not something you should be thinking when you're switching your brain off towards grown men play fighting. Yeah, like him coming out, hugging his kids and everything like that. The fact that the commentators are like using his shoot name or shoot last name and that, it was just like,
He's carrying
wow,
the
this is,
old tag titles for the
yeah,
last
that,
time.
oh my god, that line just was like, whew, okay, I'm gonna go get myself another beer and just try and compose myself at this point because yeah, those lines definitely was like, shit, he's not here anymore. And again, I never knew the guy personally or anything like that, but it was like, wow, this is crazy
Been watching
emotional.
them for 15, 20
Yeah,
years.
yeah, and it's like, holy shit. And like, you could tell the fact Joe broke character at the end of that and shook his hand, and you could tell it wasn't the character shaking his hand and being like, good match. It was like him just like, no, 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 screw character bullshit.
Yeah,
You know,
that was
this is for Jay.
we're mates. This is a heavy
Yeah,
moment for both of us.
yeah, and it was like, wow, like, yeah, yeah, it was heavy. It was very fucking heavy.
Yeah, there was like 2 moments in particular that really hit me. The moment when Mark was crawling for the hot tag. It's like, seriously, we're gonna do this? Like,
Yeah,
that sucked. And then
yeah,
afterwards, when his entire family were just bawling their eyes out as he was hugging them afterwards, I was like,
yeah.
God
That
damn it,
was.
guys.
I forgot about that hot tag moment, like, because I was just like the moment when they're like, he has a tag belt for the last ever time, and I'm like, shit, that's yeah, that's true, and he came up short, which it sucked. He came up short, and but it was like, okay, at least they're not, playing off the fact that, well, your brother's died. Here's a belt to make you feel better. It was a, decent ending.
I was still totally shocked by that ending. Leading into
Yeah,
this, I was like, 100%, like, I'm almost certain Mark is winning this match. And then when they showed all of his kids ringside, I was like, oh yeah, for sure, he has to win.
yeah, same. I was convinced, and then like, nope, we'll swerve expectations a little bit, and I'm like, okay, it kind of sucks a little bit, but at least it's not a pity title reign
And it
of
also makes
sorts.
sense too,
So
like, he's been a tag guy for so long. Like,
exactly
yes, he
that.
had a
Yeah,
little like singles run when he was going against Jay for a little while, but they've
just
always
tag
been the
well,
tag
no.
guys, and especially recently, they've been tag guys. They haven't had singles
Yeah,
runs.
exactly. Jay was a singles guy. Mark was just, the tag guy. So it really punched, a lot of weight in that match. And then at the end of the tag match, when he came out again with the old tag belts being like, well, these belts
Yeah,
are
like
gone.
passing the torch.
Yeah, it's like, shit. It was very heavy match.
And the crowd was like so behind him too. They like
Yeah.
everyone wanted him to win this match. So when there was
Mm.
that ending, it was just like, whoa, what the hell?
Yeah, exactly. The second he hit that clutch and he was like down on the mat, I'm like, holy shit, they're actually not going to do the whole, sympathy title run. Oh wow, this is different.
Yeah. And like when he hit the froggy bow and then Joe kicked out at like 2.9, everyone was like, wait, what? What the hell is going on? Like everybody
Yeah,
thought that was the moment, I think.
exactly that. So I like solid match. Like they told a very emotional story and they definitely delivered on that one.
Mm-hmm. And neither of them held back. Like some of those chops were sickening.
Oh boy, they really knew
They
how to land that,
belted
man.
each other hard. I was like, oh my God.
Like that was like, okay, cool. We're getting our second gear now, and we're going hard. So no, just unbelievable match.
One thing that pulled me out of that match was the damn ring squeaking. Did you notice that?
I don't think I heard it as
Oh,
much.
there was like a rope or something that must have like come loose at some
Mhm.
point. Like every time they hit it, it was like, like, oh God, that's really off-putting. And then they fixed it after this match. So I was like, thank God.
Okay. I can't say I remember hearing that, but again, I've heard my fair share of very squeaky, very. How is this ring be
Yeah,
allowed to be used?
yeah,
So,
you know the squeak that I'm talking about. Like it's just,
exactly. I'm sure there's plenty of examples I could think of, but yeah, I think I was just more wrapped up in the whole emotion of everything of like try not to cry during all this. That yeah, the squeakiness was probably past my mind at that point.
and then with the result, where do we go from here with both of these guys? Like,
That's
do they now slowly push Mark towards the world title?
I would if you can't win the TV title, why would you go after the world title? I mean, the
Yeah.
gang sort of thing there, like,
And,
and like
and
he,
maybe he just works his way back to getting a, a rematch or something.
that's the thing. Like Tony Khan's booking, it's always been like you fail first, but you win at the second time at a
Yeah.
bigger show. Like, you
And when
know what
he's
I
had
mean?
a bit more experience as a singles guy, because he has said
Yeah,
that he will not work any more straight up tag matches. Like he's only ever going to work singles or multi man.
yeah, which is completely fair. Like, again, Delaware was a huge Ring of Honor hotbed. So you would like to think that they would just run over Ring of Honor show in Delaware because that was huge for them back in the day.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Death before dishonor. Run that like down there somewhere.
yeah, so that's why I'm like, I wouldn't be shocked again if it's like, okay, well, we're just going to run a show in 6 months, like in 4 months or whatever, in Delaware because we want to differentiate the two brands. Okay, Mark, you could win the belt here. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, again, that's very, very also Tony Khan's booking. Like the whole Darby Allin randomly winning the
In Seattle.
TNT title in Seattle and losing it back to only then to lose it back to Wardlow. So yeah, and again, like Joe, yeah, Joe's just doing his own thing. So yeah, I don't know where they go from here. It'd be very interesting to see what's next.
Yeah. It was a very interesting finish. Then we went to Tanahashi versus Daniel Garcia. I
Mm.
loved Garcia's like new hip hop theme. That's very cool and fitting for him.
Yeah,
And
very fitting for his new sort of sports entertainer gimmick.
like, what an opportunity for him to be placed in a match against Hiroshi Tanahashi on WrestleMania weekend when there's
That just
hardcore wrestling fans everywhere.
the on man, like that is a definition of Supercard of Honor. Is you going, wait, what? Daniel Garcia versus Tanahashi? What?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
imagine this spot was supposed to be Takeshita Will,
yeah. Oh, 100.
and
Again,
then
which would be a wait, what? That match is happening.
yeah, and then the injury, Tanahashi was Will's replacement for the Impact show, so it was an easy, quick pop this guy in here.
Yeah, exactly. And again, it served its match so freaking well. Um, Garcia got to really shine. Tanahashi just was
Was
Tanahashi.
Tanahashi? Yep.
Yeah, he showed up. He had his magnificent hair on display. So
Missing a few teeth though. Apparently lost those in the Impact show earlier in the day.
I see that does not surprise me for Mania weekend.
Huh.
Yeah,
He,
Mania.
he had the old Mark Briscoe missing front teeth situation going on.
Paying tribute to Mark with the missing teeth. Yeah, that does not surprise me at all. I cannot believe someone would damage the most beautiful man in professional wrestling today.
Yeah. So yeah, Garcia and Yuta both like in these two big spots that they were put in against like legendary Japanese wrestlers. They both stepped up and filled in and did an amazing job in their spots.
Beyond wild to think that, like, what was it, mid 2021? They did that 1 hour draw Iron Man match, or the 2 hour. I think it was 2 hours. Like it was it was just stupidly long match.
Yeah.
And then they had that random match on Dynamite, and it's culminated to one versus Shibata for the pure title, the other one versus Tanahashi.
Yep.
It is the most that is old school Ring of Honor sort of like, wait, what?
Yeah, like he's a young guy getting to showcase his skills, and I love that they've kind of switched characters too. Like now Yuta is the badass that's just destroying people and like trying to kill people, whereas Garcia he's hitting some top tier sports entertainment with his little salsa dance that pops me every time. I love that salsa dance that he does.
those good on leather pants as well. Like they are.
Yeah, the salsa
A+.
dance in the leather pants. It's like, yes, so good.
Yeah, and that's exactly like you had a pure sports entertainer versus Tanahashi on Mania weekend at Supercard of Honor is just what?
It's like, what is happening?
And again, the match delivered. Like it was, Garcia, even though he lost, he really did get to shine as, someone that is the future of Ring of Honor and AEW.
Yeah, 100%. I love that he hit the Shinsuke taunt as well and just got booed out of the building when he hit that too.
Unbelievable! Like he made sure he knew what crowd he was playing to with pissing them right off.
Yeah, and the you're a wrestler chance always.
Yes. Yeah, I'm surprised they're still going. Everyone loves to remind you that you are a wrestler after all.
Yeah.
Not a sports entertainer.
Yeah, so like you said, he got to showcase that and prove that I belong at the top of the AEW or ROH card for the years to come.
Like I would not be shocked. Again, it's not unbelievable to say within a year that it's him and Wheeler Yuta for the Ring of Honor title. Is not the most outlandish claim in a year's time. Not talking 5 years or whatever. In a year's time.
Yeah, well, I think
those
even
two
in
are definitely where they
AEW,
are.
you've got those first 4 guys that won the world title that was spoiled in the very first poster for AEW that was ever put out. And then you've got the next tier, which are the 4 pillars that we're looking like we're building to a match between them. And then I think you've got the tier down, which is like your Ricky Starks, your Daniel Garcias, your Yutas, and your Takeshita's, like the following.
Yeah, Takeshita is, yeah. Yeah, and again, I would not Ring of Honor is that stepping stone. It is, okay, you're Ring of Honor champion, cool, sweet. Time to use that to jump into the top main event and not be Jericho's job guy. role that he's supposed to be in, which Sammy was meant to be, but now Garcia seems to have taken over
Yeah, well, he's got two
for old
now.
mate Sammy there.
He's got Sammy and Garcia
Yeah,
pretty much in the same spot, which is a bit weird.
yeah. Well, Garcia's the job guy. Sammy's more of a it's a high
Sammy's the
profile
spot guy.
guy. I kind of need to. Yeah, Sammy's the spot guy, and I lose when I need to. Garcia just loses all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting to see that they have definitely set themselves up for the future extremely well. And yeah, those two went from fighting each other on last pay-per-view to fighting two of the biggest legends in New Japan currently active.
Yep. And then we went over to the second most emotional match of the pay-per-view, the Reach for the Sky ladder match, which, like I said earlier, was overshadowed by the Dante injury, but there were some crazy spots in this match and some awesome sequences too. Like, there were sequences between Aussie Open and the Lucha Bros that made me want so much more of that combination. There was a couple of spots between Aussie Open and Top Flight, which I really want more of as well at some point down the line. The Kingdom, I think the Kingdom have a big gripe with Aussie Open coming out of this match with the pile drivers on the stage.
Yeah, where they busted themselves right open with.
Yeah, so there's some cool potential feuds coming out of this match as well.
I would almost think that you're almost an Aussie Open fan with the opening so far. About talking about Aussie Open a lot. I almost think you're someone from Sydney, Brisbane area.
Oh, man,
with a lot of the Aussie Open talk here.
They totally carried that match. Like, Lucha Bros didn't really have all that many spots, and then the one spot they had is forgotten because Dante got destroyed.
I would say it's very, at least that spot will be remembered for years to come.
Yeah, but it
Just
won't be shown
not for the right
again.
reasons.
That was shocking as soon as he hits the table.
Like, they didn't even show that spot in the rewind. They're like, oh shit.
Yeah, let's not show that because that was gross.
Yeah, that was the whole match was absolutely incredible. Definitely was very emotional at the end when FTR come out, like, completely out of character. And again, that is...
Yeah, it was just like the tribute spot.
Yeah, the one thing I love about Ring of Honor in AEW as a whole is, like, yes, okay, obviously everyone has to be in character, but
not all the time.
We will drop character.
There are moments where we can get rid of it.
Exactly, and this is one of those points where, like, FDR come out. You know, they had no reason to come out for that, and then Mark Briscoe comes out and with the old tag belts. Last time we'll ever see those belts ever again. And yeah, like, the whole ladder match was just incredible 5-way clusterfuck. Get your shit in and go, and I will never not pop for the Coriolis effect for the Aussie Open because it is a cool move and also B, a reference to the greatest Simpsons episode ever with Bart versus Australia.
Yeah.
That is hardcore Simpsons shitposting on another level of calling your finisher based on the premise of a Simpsons episode that Australians know word for word of is just incredible. And just everybody got their shit in, and yeah, it was insane.
I liked the, tiny tribute that the Kingdom gave to the Briscoes as well when they hit that suicide dive doomsday device, which that was terrifying. That was the first big spot where I was like, oh Jesus.
Yeah, and that was when you're like, okay, cool. Someone's not walking out of this match. And unfortunately, that was the case with it. But yeah, that was incredible. And the commentators made sure, like, that was a tribute to the Briscoes. It is one of those sad things of you are reminded, oh shit, we're never getting the Briscoes versus Aussie Open. We're never getting the Briscoes versus Luchas. Like, that was the depressing part of it, of there should have been a sixth team in this match, and there wasn't.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because like, whoever does a 5-way ladder match, like you never see a 5-way; it's always a 6-way.
Yep.
So that was the missing sixth team, and it was very, oh shit, you know what I mean? It just, yeah. And unfortunately for Dante Martin, he's now
On
the shelf again.
Yep. Couple of the other like crazy spots I wrote down were Aussie Open hitting their running squishy thing, but using ladders instead of their opponents. Like usually they hold their opponents and like run around the ring and run into each other. Except this time they held ladders and ran into someone.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a cool spot.
Love that ladders look like something out of the No Mercy video game.
Yep.
That was like the one part I'm like, yep.
Top Flight had that crazy ladder climb assist where they kind of like Darius slingshot Dante up to it. I was like, that's cool.
Yep.
And then, the Canadian Destroyer off the ladder bridge was just sickening. And
and I was like, how did you manage to... It was okay, I expect you to break your neck during that, not your foot.
Yeah, I think it looked like maybe the tables were just too close to the ring, like they needed to be further out, but I guess they also didn't want to have them too far out and then
too far, yeah.
Like they probably should have just did
mind the gap.
3 lots of tables just to have that safety barrier of it's either too long or
too short. Yeah.
And then I was also thinking during the match, Top Flight must be sick of Aussie teams after this week because they had some battles with Aussie Open in this match and they had battled Velocities earlier in the week.
Yeah, they definitely got their Aussie feeling.
They could be like, get these Aussies away from us.
Yeah, it's kind of like, okay, I'm sick of you guys and your weird accents. Please stop and go away.
Yep. But
the lack of Shillies on this show was depressing, but we didn't have an Aussie winner, so
I'm sure if Aussie Open won, we probably would have got one of those.
That is why, you know what I mean? Like, you need to reach out to your mate TK and be like, where is why is there no Shillies on this show? Australia is not impressed.
And Lucha Bros won, but this was one of those weird matches where I would have been happy with anybody winning in this match. Like, all of those teams would have been fine for me if they'd won. Even the Kingdom. And in the lead up to this, the Kingdom were kind of just there, but the more I thought about it, I was like, no, they kind of deserve it. They're like long-time ROH guys. They had long battles with the Briscoes, so I would have been happy with them winning as well.
Yeah, that's. I thought Lucha Bros were only in it to, you know what I mean? Like, you have to sell out the stadium.
Add that draw, yeah.
Like, or whatever, you know what I mean? It's if you don't know who Aussie Open is, well, you know who the Lucha Bros are. So, okay, we'll come for Lucha Bros. And, like, Tyler was telling me this really wild story of, because he went to the toilet during the AEW Dynamite after Double or Nothing, during the MJF promo, which, oh boy, ask him about that. And he still talks to this day about it. Yeah. So, and he recalled this, these 2 Hispanic guys were like, when's Lucha Bros on the show? And someone said, oh yeah, they were on the dark taping before the show. And like, oh, cool, screw this out. And they just walked out of the building. They didn't give a They just didn't care. They wanted to see Aussie Open. I mean, the Lucha Bros. Yeah, and it was like, oh wow, like, so again, I would be shocked if in LA with, you know, such a huge Hispanic audience that they came for the Lucha Bros, and no, they came for the Lucha. They left after their match was on. All right, cool, sweet, we're done. Yeah. We don't give a shit about the rest of the show.
They got their Lucha opening.
That's
and then
why
they got
I
Lucha
thought
Bros
that was
in this match, so they were stoked.
Yeah, that's it. Like, that's why I thought they were in the match. I didn't think they were there to win. I just thought they were there to, you know, get those extra couple of 100 seat sales. But yeah, no, they're good on them for winning. I guess it means they're off AEW TV. As bad as I kind of hope they are, so you don't have the whole Ring of Honor champions on AEW TV every week sort of.
Yeah,
confusion. So
Well, I guess they're not really in the title hunt in AEW at the moment, so it's a good way to sort of get them off TV, but still have them working consistently. So, and
yeah, exactly that.
it gives ROH a bit more like name value with their champions as well,
Star
like
power.
big star power, yeah.
Mm.
And then speaking of star power, the pure title, Wheeler Yuta versus Katsuyori Shibata, making his return essentially to full on in ring action after a couple of like exhibition pancrase style matches. And they also added Mox
Yeah.
to Yuta's entrance for this to add just a little bit more star power, which was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they loaded that up. That was okay, how do we overbook this in terms of star power? And they delivered.
I was surprised Mox was there, and also super surprised that he didn't end up getting involved in the match at all. He was just there supporting.
I'm surprised Mox was on like AEW/Ring of Honor and was not bleeding. Like I was convinced at one point in his contract it was like
A stiff breeze
whenever
would
Mox is
make
on
that guy
TV,
bleed.
he must be bleeding. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's like whenever Poochie's not on screen, everyone must be asking, "Where's Poochie?" Whenever Moxley's on screen, he must be bleeding. Everyone must be like, "Why is he not bleeding?" Oh, he's bleeding now. Cool, we're happy. But yeah, it was good that he's stepping into that regal role of mentoring, mentoring the younger talent there. So it is good in that aspect that he has filled in for Regal pretty well since he left.
Mox didn't bleed all weekend. See,
Oh shit!
he didn't bleed on Bloodsport.
The one one that's literally called Bloodsport doesn't bleed. Yeah.
And was he on a GCW show? I don't think he bled on any
No,
GCW shows.
I don't think he's allowed to appear with all the drama going on there.
Yeah.
No,
he didn't bleed at all this
yeah,
weekend.
no,
That's
he
weird.
didn't.
Renee's got to be happy.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. It's like, yeah,
The hotel's got to be stoked.
the bed sheets won't get. Yeah, finally, for once, I don't have to pay the cleaning fee.
Yeah.
Yeah, that must be the longest I expect on this week's Dynamite for him to bleed triple to make up for it.
What did you think of Pat Buck, Madison Rain, and Christopher Daniels as the acting pure title judges as well?
Loved it. Good combination of guests. Like, it will be interesting to see when a pure match actually does go to the judges' decisions.
Especially because they always showcase like, here are the judges, so like they're planting that seed that like eventually one day we're going to go to a judge's score.
Oh yeah, exactly that. And I'm glad that they're building to it. It's not just the first pure match. Here we go, judge's decision. It's
especially like,
hey, they're out here for a reason.
Like even with AEW, they always talked about the time limits and the DQs, and it took ages before we got a time limit draw, a count out, or a DQ. Like there was months before we got one of those. So I'm thinking maybe if we do Shibata and Danielson, that'll be the one that goes to judges or something.
I would not be shocked if they just announce it for a random show and it goes to that, and then it leads to the pay-per-view where it's final battle. You know what I mean?
This has to be completed. Like no judges,
proper,
no time limit.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I good diversity in the judges there. Pat Buck is always fun to see on TV.
Also fun to see
his little house shows.
House shows as well, apparently.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I loved his little outfit. It was like, that is amazing.
Yeah, that was weird. In terms of
that was great.
The Yuta Shibata match, I loved that. Like in all the pre-taped episodes, they were talking about how every time Yuta had a match, he was using the rules against his opponent who wasn't as familiar with these rules, in terms of he would put people on submissions, but like intentionally do it or move them close to the ropes so that they would expire all their rope breaks. And then during this match, Shibata was doing that to him, like intentionally holding him in submissions that were early in the match. They were never going to win it, but he was close enough to make the rope break. And Yeah, he was expiring those rope breaks pretty quickly, and was eventually forced into using strikes, which just did nothing.
Yeah, didn't he get disqualified or points taken off him for using an open hand strike or whatever as well at one point in the
Yeah,
match?
so he was striking and it was doing nothing. Like Shibata was doing classic Shibata, just standing there looking at him like, that's shit. Do better. So then he like full on just closed fist punched him in the face, and then while the ref was off, like explaining that to the judges and the timekeeper and stuff, he hit a low blow. So 100%
Yeah.
Wheeler Yuta heel turn solidified. Like the whole BCC now is 1000% heel. There's no, we're kind of in between. We just like hurting people. Like, no, now we just like destroying people.
Everyone has had their chance to solidify that, yes, I am the bad guy in this feud. Deal with it, which has been good.
Mm-hmm. And then the outcome, Katsuya Shibata taking the title and becoming the new pure champion. I was stunned by that decision. I did not see that. I thought this was like Yuta's crowning moment of, look, I can beat the top guys.
I thought this was going to be like a time limit draw or some, we've got to find our way out of it
split
drama.
Decision type thing.
Yeah. And no, Shibata won. Shibata's champion. Shibata's going to be around for a bit longer. And it was like oh shit, they're doing it. Shibata's getting a better run in, AEW than he's getting at the moment in New Japan, where he's doing nothing.
Just the dojo guy.
Yeah, so I'm all for it. I'm all for hoping he comes into Australia soon. If they want to send him in and around everywhere else other than Japan.
Send him to a Tamashii show with the pure title, maybe?
I'm more than happy. I'm sure there's a little bird brain friend of yours that would be happy to go for a pure title match.
He was owed one from Utah.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that little, little bird brains would be happy to have a good chance in his hometown of Sydney. Around there. I wouldn't be against seeing that. I might actually have to get in my little green Mazda 2 and drive up to see Bird Brains get his head kicked in. I'd be happy to see that.
I loved the streamers of celebration too from the crowd as well. That's classic ROH. So that's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what was missing on Mania. At the end of the show was the streamers, because they just kept talking about how it's indie. And I'm glad they finally had your streamers back for the right moments.
Yeah,
so
I know, towards the end of like ROH, just before the pandemic and stuff, the streamers were getting a little bit out of hand. Like we were getting streamers in every match for just random dudes. I was like, okay, a little bit excessive.
You're not from this country. Here's some streamers.
Just lower card dudes were getting streamers. Like, no, let's reserve those for the legends.
Yeah. And I still remember that people had to be told, this is how you properly throw your streamers. Please do not throw a complete ball of streamers at their heads.
Unroll them a little bit first. Don't just drill full streamers at people.
I may recommend that for a PWA show when you see something you don't like. The streamer doesn't unroll, then it's happened. But yeah.
I am responsible for organising a streamer party once. So whoops. The G3 final 3 guys in Sydney.
Oh yeah,
I may have been responsible for arranging that streamer party. Whoops.
Did you have to go around and teach everyone? Okay, unroll it first. Please do not do it.
Just handed a bunch of streamers out. And like I said, in the post-show press conference, Shibata said, winning this title gets him one step closer to Danielson. So, I can see maybe Yuta gets a rematch, fails again, and Shibata brutalizes him or something, and Brian comes in and is like, hey, stop beating up my kid.
See, that's the thing, Moxley was the one out there, which makes me think maybe they're going Moxley next. If Brian was in the corner...
Maybe they just do they send Yuta out again, but he asks Brian to second him this time.
Yeah, that's like again, you do that at a bigger Ring of Honor show. Like again, if they were to do one at Delaware, it's like, hey, look, we're just doing a special live Ring of Honor taping, not a pay-per-view, just a live show, and Brian happens to be there. That would be incredible to set things up.
And then finally into the main event, the world title, Claudio Castagnoli defending against Eddie Kingston. I loved the hype package we got before this, like not crazy long, but enough of like going through their entire backstory, which dates all the way back to Chikara, and they used that Chikara footage as well, which I thought was fantastic.
No, absolutely incredible there. That like they really paid on the history of that feud. I was happy with
Especially
that.
like with the tape library that they now have, like, and the sort of relationships they have with Chikara and everything. Like, between the ROH archival footage and Chikara, like, they have footage on every major star. Like, even watching WrestleMania today, it's just like, ROH guy, ROH guy, ROH guy.
Where's the Sammy and Kevin Owens being a tag team against the Briscoes when? Just a sidebar, like that was emotional when like Owens in the post-show conference going like, yeah, that was like, oh my god, like just when you like, it's just, oh boy, like how the shout out to Jay Briscoe, just it goes to show how much he meant to everybody, and getting a shout out.
Did you hear Mark's
post-show
press conference comments about Jay as well?
No, I didn't.
Someone asked him how he felt about it, and he basically said, I'm feeling pretty good, but today I wrestled Samoa Joe and Jay wrestled Eddie Guerrero, so I think he's happier. It's just like, Jesus, man.
Like, fuck.
Full on shit.
Like, it was bad enough that Eddie Guerrero thing got me. Like, when that thing's on, like, okay, cool. Yeah, cool. It's bad enough. It's 11 o'clock in the morning, and I'm already a couple of beers deep. Better not. Yeah. So yeah, Ring of Honor main event, just because. Yeah, that was. Yeah, Eddie Kingston coming back from COVID as well was, he did a good showing there as well.
I thought this match was awesome. Like, they started with like crazy vicious strikes, and then we saw Eddie targeting the leg, which I thought was really cool. Like, it played into that history where Eddie was trying to prove that, no, I'm actually a technical wrestler. I'm not just a brawler. And it worked because it prevented Claudio later in the match from being able to use the giant swing.
Yeah.
Very well done. Like, the storytelling in this match was crazy well done, and the crowd was crowd was split early too. And because of the story that they told, we saw them eventually. They turned on Claudio, and they were fully behind Eddie winning.
Especially behind Eddie.
He kicked out at like 1 off the big uppercut.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and everyone was like, Eddie's winning, surely. And again, it was, no, this is not AEW booking right here. This is Ring of Honor booking where, Claudio got the win in the end of it. And it definitely was a clean win, but it wasn't enough to make you think, okay, this is one and done, finish sort of thing. So.
Especially because, we saw Claudio, he was leaning into that heel aspect as well. Like, he hit that gut wrench suplex from the apron to the floor.
Oh, that was
And then
brutal.
He was using the guardrail as a weapon on the floor as well. And I was like, okay. And then the victory was just like a sudden counter to a roll-up. And then he got the victory. So I was like, I can definitely see this continuing. And the way that Yuta and Claudio were circling around Eddie, basically preparing to jump him in the post-match before Shibata made that save, I was like, okay, they're definitely continuing this story in some form or fashion as well.
Yeah, Shibata just casually coming out to be like, no, I'm not finished with you.
He didn't even do anything. He just walked out and was like, I'm here.
You
I'm
want to
right
go.
here. Don't do shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't fight you.
Like, just the idea of, Claudio versus Shibata is like, what? That's an option. So, yeah, they definitely have a lot of tricks up their sleeve going forward to what they want to pull off.
And did you watch and see Eddie's comments on the microphone afterwards as well?
I heard him say every swear word you could possibly say with the 30 seconds he had left.
So good.
And I'm like,
don't tell me I got 4 minutes. I'm just going to say every swear word in the book, and they can't fire me.
I've got 40 seconds. Here we go. Every swear word. I'm not going anywhere. All the reports of me leaving are bullshit. Here's every swear word.
HR can't fire me.
Eddie just... exactly that. It's like, what you gonna do? Fire me? Bring it.
Basically said that he's not done with Claudio and he's going to beat his effing ass. So like, we're definitely getting this story continuing along the way.
Yeah, exactly that, and it's good because and Eddie just proved that Eddie's always going to be Eddie, no matter what. He's going to find a way to swear on every possible occasion.
Yeah, like I said, with them taping Ring of Honor alongside Dynamite in New York this week, I can see Eddie getting some crazy crowd reactions there, and hopefully this sort of carries on and we get late, maybe like in December when they usually run Final Battle, Eddie versus Claudio rematch, Hammerstein Ballroom. Eddie finally gets his big win at home. Like, I can imagine just the crowd pop at that moment would be absolutely bonkers.
Because don't they normally run a show in July?
Death Before Dishonor is usually mid-year.
Yeah,
and then Final Battle's the end of
and that's still... Because Death Before Dishonor is one they usually run at the Hammerstein Ballroom as well. Like,
no,
from
Death Before Dishonor is like
memory.
generally all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
Final
I know
Battle
sometimes
was,
they used to run it at Sam's Town.
Final
And
was always...
Yeah,
it was always the New York Christmassy one.
Yeah, because that was always the biggest show of the year to always go see, and just that's where they just went all out with mental shit.
So yeah, I'm excited for the future of ROH, and we'll definitely be checking out the weekly show.
Yeah, look, you know what I mean. I will check out on Monday on Tuesday whether or not Ring of Honor is blocked at work, and if it's not, then I'll probably definitely subscribe because, I would not mind watching that on a Friday morning while I'm pretending to do my job.
So as we close out, what would you pick as your match of the night?
Oh, I'd have to say I'm always sucker for a good ladder match, like a good multi-team clusterfuck, bang, 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 bang ladder match is always my favorite. You know what I mean? That's always hard, but that opening match was just absolutely off the wall insane. So it could come down to one of those two, but like again, I'm a sucker for a ladder match. I love a good ladder match. You know what I mean? Like I have to say that ladder match is match of the night for myself. Even though that opener was just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, there was 3 matches on this card where I was like, these could easily be match of the night depending on what you're after. Like if you're after crazy lucha action, obviously the opener is off the chain, and there's moves there that you won't see anyone else hit in a long time.
Oh yeah.
If you want a crazy emotional storytelling match, Joe versus Mark. And then if you want the crazy spots, then the ladder match. But be prepared for some gruesome stuff.
Yeah. Exactly. Like it is probably one of the hardest shows to say what is the match of the night, because like I said, that opening match is
top to bottom.
So incredible. And like I said, every match, like even the matches that weren't the greatest, they serve the point of, okay, cool, I'm allowed to have a quick breather to run to the toilet and, do the things I need to do around, between matches sort of thing there.
It wasn't 3 hours of
cool, I can't move.
Every match topping it and getting crazy. Like, it did flow nicely, which is nice.
Exactly that. So yeah, I'd lock in the ladder match for my match of the night.
In terms of an overall show rating, where would you drop this one?
Like, as in terms of like in rankings to all the other shows, or just like an A, B,
Just,
C plus?
Out of 5,
Yeah.
1 to 5.
I'd give it a 4.5. Like, it was a solid show all around, sort of thing. There, like I said, it wouldn't be. Like, it was probably the best show of Mania weekend.
Oh,
Sort
I've
of
heard
thing so far.
the Super Show was awesome, but I haven't seen it. So
Yeah, so I haven't said like. It's also one of like I watched Mania. I absolutely loved it. I sat there and I'm like, I want to go back to Mania, but Mania's Mania. No one competes with Mania on that aspect. But that's a sports
from
entertainment
pure
good
wrestling
show.
standpoint.
For wrestling standpoint, the Ring of Honor show absolutely smashes. So I'd say it's a solid 4.5. Like, realistic, outside of the 6-man tag
Everything
match,
was worth watching.
none of the matches I would say is a skip. Like, just don't even bother about it. Like, if I was messaging my other mate and going like, hey, look, you got 2 hours to watch a show, just skip this. Yeah, I'd say everything was worth a solid watch, just with that 6-man tag being a bit of a breather to compose yourself a little
ridiculous opener. Yeah, I gave this one a 4, and I kind of only said that because the two like big shock, like surprise return type things that you would usually see on the pay-per-view happened on the pre-show, which was a bit weird.
Exactly, like if Nigel was on the
Nigel,
main show,
like,
yeah,
his appearance was before the opening match. Like, play the opening video, do like the little. And I can't remember if they had like opening pyro or anything, but like do the introduction to the show and then have Nigel come out. Like, that first music hit is Nigel. Like, I think that would have just bumped it up a little bit for me.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like, overall, absolutely fantastic show. There's really no negative shit to say about it. It's just, you know,
Dante's
it was
injury. That's
yeah.
easily the big negative.
Yeah,
for the show, that's just shit happens.
Yeah, the big negative. Yeah, it's more of a, you know, when you go through your wrestling lineups, you don't normally write down guy's ankle decided to do a 360. Not a normal thing to write down in your post-match reviews of the shows.
Yeah. Nobody got injured, so this show sucked. Like,
that is exactly that.
That's our review of ROH Supercard of Honor 2023. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the commentary booth. If you enjoyed the show, please remember to rate, review, and subscribe on podcast services and on YouTube. You can follow Jason on Twitter at JasonWookie with 2 E's, and you can follow me on social media at JamieUpsMedia and at Pario Magazine. The Commentary Booth is a fan-funded production of Jamie Ups Media. You can support the podcast alongside our magazine, Pario Magazine, on Patreon at patreon.com/JamieUpsMedia. The following people supported at the publisher level or higher, and you cannot fathom how incredibly appreciative we are for their support.